Hello. Just got 1 minute and we'll get started. Hello. Okay, so we've got 3 more characters today. We're going to do Super Mario. We're going to do Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. And we are also doing Darth Vader's mask. So 3... Mario's probably the most difficult. We're going to start with Mario. Okay. So starting with Mario's nose, we're going to do Mario's face first. I think it's easy to work out from his face where everything else goes. So we're going to do a nice round circle. It's probably the size of nearly a 10-pence piece. I've done mine. Now, from each side, we're going to do 2 slightly curved lines going upwards. He's got a big moustache. And then we're going to just make a series of curved lines coming underneath. And Mario's moustache is black. So just colour that in if you've got your Sharpies or whatever it is you're using. If not, you can maybe do that later. But his moustache is a black colour. Okay, so just slightly underneath the centre of the moustache, about as wide as the the nose, we're just going to do Mario's mouth. That's his bottom lip. And then underneath that, we've got this small crease that you quite often see on these cartoon characters. Just over halfway, so here's the halfway point of Mario's nose. We're just going to come slightly to the side, and we're now going to do Mario's eyes. So we've got 2 oval shapes and they disappear behind Mario's eyes, so don't come all the way through the nose. And then the same on the opposite side. And then within that we've got another couple of circular shapes. So just doing both at the same time. And then finally a smaller oval shape. And we're going to colour that in, and we're going to leave one part of it white because that's the glint in his eye, the shine in the eye, which we've done on pretty much every character we've drawn so far. And then we've got 2 eyebrows that almost match the shape of his eyes. They come a little bit wider than that, and we're going to colour those in black as well. This is the whole body of Mario, so we're going to have his body and his feet and everything in there, which is why we've started quite a way up the page to begin with. Okay, so we're going to do a curved line now that is slightly wider than the moustache on both sides, and it's going to come up across the eyebrows. I'm going to turn my paper slightly. So we've got that type of shape, and this is the bottom of Mario's hat. So the side of Mario's face now is kind of straight on the edges, and then it's going to curve down and round And then for his chin, we have a small bulge. So it's not all the same shape. Something like that. Mario's got rather large ears. And there's just a couple of lines for details in those. And you can actually see part of Mario's hair coming down at the sides. There and there. Just put a detail in. Okay, so now we're going to do Mario's hat. So we're looking at him front on. And then a couple of lines across the front for the peak. And then an M in the middle, which is surrounded by another circle. Okay, almost slightly wider than where his eyes are. We're going to do the braces on his outfit. So we have a button in there. Same on the other side. He's wearing a type of dungarees by the look of it. Okay, so a little bit wider than that section that we just drew. We're just going to do a curved line out each side, which are coming lower down than those. And these are going to be Mario's arms. And that joins up to those parts of his dungarees. We have those sausagey type shapes that most of the characters that we've drawn over the last few days have at the bottom of their arms where their wrist and their hand meets. And then Mario's hand, it's a side-on perspective, so we're not going to see all of the fingers. And the same on the opposite side. Just some details on his gloves. So he's got a slightly rounded body, which would make a circle if we continued this round, but we're going to leave that because that's going to be where his legs start. And we've just got a couple of details on the top. And then his feet, his foot on the left is facing us. And the foot on the right is slightly to the side. We've just got the detail of the shoe there. And there's our Super Mario. Very good. Okay, on to our next drawing then. So we're going to draw Flanders from The Simpsons. So he's actually Homer and Bart's neighbour. So we're going to start with the eyes again, like we've done with all of our Simpsons characters. One of the eyes is a circle. This time it's the eye on the left. I'm going to do the pupil in there. And then the eye to the right, we're not going to complete this circle because the nose is in the way. So we've got that characteristic nose, that Simpsons nose. And then the other eyeball in there. So Flanders has a big moustache. So we're going to draw that kind of shape, and we're just going to add a few lines in there just to indicate that that is a moustache rather than just part of his face. So coming out from there now we have the mouth. And in there is the tongue. So let's fill the inside of this mouth out in black. And then continue down with his neck. So if you remember, all of the Simpsons characters tend to have this ear that's slightly lower down than it would really be on a real person. It's almost level with their nose. And then from there we have the neck that comes in. And that is rounded off because Flanders is wearing a shirt. So if we come towards this ear and make that kind of shape, this is his hair, which now comes out the back and comes up and around. So we've got this type shape for his hair, leaving us with the bulge there for his eyebrow. And then we're just going to put a couple of lines in just to indicate some hair there. And he's actually wearing glasses. You can't really tell because the eyes all look similar, but we're just going to put an arm of the glasses coming across to his ear. So the collar of his shirt, we're going to draw a triangle in the middle there, but we're not going to fill the bottom out. And then we're going to come up and round. So that just gives us the indication of something. He's got this, looks like the top of his jumper, I guess. He's got a jumper on and there's just a couple of details in there. So his body shape is almost like a pear. So he hasn't got the big tummy that Homer had. We've got that type of shape. Don't fill it all the way around this side because we've got an arm that sticks out here. So starting with his shoulder, and this comes all the way up and around almost to the top of his neck. So that's the shape of his arm, and he is waving. So we've got the thumb nearest to his head, followed by 3 fingers, which is what all the Simpsons characters have had so far. And then a detail there for the palm of his hand. So the arm on the other side, we can't see his hand. He's kind of got his hand on his hip, I guess, or his hand tucked behind his back. So the arm just comes around there. We can see the t-shirt or his belt sticking out at the bottom of his jumper. And then we've got 2 very simple legs, quite straight lines, a slight curve to them. And then the bottom of his trousers. And he has some very simple shoes on with both of the feet sticking out to the side, so we can see the entire shape of his shoe. And there we go. There is Ned Flanders. 2 down. So the next one we're going to do a front looking Darth Vader, which is quite simple. There's not a lot to it, but it does look quite cool. So we're going to start, I'm just going to make 2 dots and the third one there. So Darth Vader has this big arc or arched shaped head. So we're going to draw that. It's not quite a semicircle. It's a little bit longer down the sides than a semicircle. And coming off from that, we're going to have 2 slightly curved lines coming out almost to the edge of the paper. And a line coming off of each of those. Now we want to try and get a center point, which is from the edge or the end of that semicircle, we're about 3.5, maybe 4 centimetres further down. So what we're now going to do is we're going to draw almost a big McDonald's M and meet that point in the middle, and then meet the point at the end. So you can see we did this big M shape in the middle. Now we're just going to have a couple of lines that almost follow that shape, but they don't meet in the middle. Okay, so we're not quite as wide as the edge of the helmet, so we're going to be slightly further in. I'm going to draw 2 straight lines down, and then a line coming down almost level with the edge of the helmet there. And at the bottom we're going to join that up with a V shape. So if we connect these 2 lines together now to make a triangle at the bottom, and then we're just going to draw a smaller triangle within that one. In each of these corners we're going to draw a circle, and we can add a smaller circle in the middle there just for a detail. And from that we're going to draw 2 diagonal lines which don't meet in the middle, so don't join that up to make a full triangle, because at the top of that triangle is a sort of semicircle with a couple of details in there as well. And then we have some vertical lines that we're going to just box out slightly there. Okay, let's have a go at some eyes. So we're going to draw that shape, 2 simple lines, there and there, and underneath those we've got some line details, 2 V shapes, and then finally we have, I don't know how to describe that shape, some V shapes there. You can see some details coming down towards those circles, and then we can also see the back of the helmet sticking out through there. I'm going to do a few diagonal lines going one way and then the other on this bottom triangle, just to give this a sort of mesh effect. And there we go, I'm happy with that. That's Darth Vader. So, Flanders, Mario and Darth Vader were the 3 characters we've drawn today. Don't forget to send me your work. I'd like to see them, but I'm quite happy with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.